Yeah, so this video is about variable rep training, man. So, once you've been working with me for a little while, or, depending on how long you've been, training with myself, I'll kind of upgrade you to variable rep training where every rep range is not the same. The reason we do this is because, if you're pushing yourself in a rep range, for example, you tend to leave a lot in the tank. So, the normal exercise, which you do a lot of times, will be 3 to 4 sets of the same rep range. So, I'll give you chest press between 10 to 12, and you would ideally go to the gym and then you would, have 10 to 12. I would want you to hit that rep range to failure. But, psychologically, what happens is you know you've got 3 other sets left. So, you do make sure you fill the weight and leave some in the tank. And that's just what happens. We can't really avoid that. Some people find a way to kind of push harder during that rep range, but you working in one rep range means you're going to be stronger. You're going to be in that bodybuilder rep range, and it's good. But if you want to advance you and make sure you're really pushing every set and get you a little bit more bang for your buck in the gym, we move you to variable rep ranges, man. So what we'll do is, instead of you doing 3 or 4 reps in the gym, you'll be doing, uh, you'll be doing 3 or 4 sets in the gym. You will then be doing, two, potentially 3 sets, but really just two. So you have 2 sets. One of them is the working set, which will be the top one. So the top one is going to be the working set, which is going to be the heavier set and the more, stronger set, where you go for a shorter rep range. And then the second one is going to be, your back off set, which is for a, less rep range. It's not a drop set, but it's a back off set where you basically do less load but for a higher rep range. So what will happen is, number one, you go all in because you're only doing this once, and then you go all in because you're only doing this once. This just allows you just to, train a little bit for higher intensity. 2 working sets and you're out, man. It saves you some time in the gym as well, and you're pushing a little bit harder. So why it's effective? Number one, you're going to be, pushing yourself. Some people do strength blocks and bodybuilding blocks, but when you're able to do this, you basically are able to put two of them in one set where you're basically getting stronger and you're basically tearing the fibers at a higher level, while kind of doing it this way. So what might happen as well is I might give you some clues to do, but very likely as well in there, you might have a working set, back off set, and then a drop set included in this, where you'd basically drop the weight to basically max out in whatever rep range I basically say. So this is effective. It will basically have you getting stronger, and it will make a big difference in your training once you kind of move up from that, man. And it's gonna elevate you a lot more. This is what all the bodybuilders and more of the high performers people do, that train to kind of build muscle and strength at the same time. So this is what it is really, and that's how we kind of get you. This is the pinnacle of training. This is where I want everybody to be at. But first I need to kind of have you through the normal sets first into training. The reason I kind of wait to give people this is because you need to make sure you don't dive into your heavy sets, into your working sets. So you have your working sets, and what you need to do is, before your working sets, kind of warm up the muscle a little bit into the weight that you're going to be doing. So you're going to adequately warm up, just so you don't dive in to the heavy load, put maybe 50 or 60 kg in, and kind of feel a little bit of a niggle. So before you kind of go for your working set, let's say your working set is going to be, let's say 70 kg on the bench press for, let's say 6 to 8 reps. What you'd first do is jump on the chest press, put 30 kg in, do 2 to 3 reps, kind of warm, feel it a little bit, don't waste too much energy. Then I would probably move up to 40 kg, do 5 or 6, sorry, not 5 or 6, 3 or 4, not use too much energy. Then I'll probably do 1 rep on 70, kind of see how that feels, then take a little second, and then once you've kind of added some weight on and you're feeling comfortable, and it kind of tests you to feel like, okay, cool, like today I'm feeling strong, or you might just hit goal weight you want to hit, and then say, you know what, yo, this is kind of heavy, like this is crazy. Maybe today my working set might be a little bit less. So it gives you a gauge. The human body isn't consistently strong every day. So, warm up adequately with your working set and back off set to kind of know, cool, this weight kind of makes sense. I'm cool with that. And that's predominantly for your working set. Once you're already warm on that exercise, your back off set should be cool. But please make sure you warm up for your working set.